Ancient manuscripts hold sacred knowledge beyond ordinary comprehension. Through millennia, Hermetic masters safeguarded these codes within symbols and metaphors. These teachings reveal a profound revelation. Alchemy transcends the physical transformation of metals into gold. The true alchemical laboratory exists within you, where consciousness transforms, vibration elevates, and reality responds to your awakened presence. These hermetic secrets whisper through time, awaiting those prepared to receive them. Despite persecution, misinterpretation, and obscurity, their power remains undiminished. Today, these ancient wisdom streams converge with quantum understanding, creating a bridge between worlds that beckons you toward expanded awareness. The first Hermetic code illuminates the principle of mentalism. The universe exists fundamentally as a mental construct. The all is mind, the universe is mental, proclaims the Kybalion, Hermetic philosophy's seminal text. This principle shatters illusions of separation from creation. Your thoughts create the invisible architecture upon which reality builds itself. Every mental pattern ripples through the cosmic field, drawing corresponding experiences into your life. Observe how your mind shapes perception. Two people experience identical circumstances, yet interpret them completely differently. One perceives opportunity, where another sees threat. This occurs because reality filters through your mental framework before reaching conscious awareness. Hermetic masters understood this mechanism thousands of years before modern psychology discovered cognitive filters. They recognized mental mastery equals reality mastery. This principle transforms from philosophical concept to practical power through conscious application. Hermetic alchemists developed specific mental disciplines to harness this creative force. Their visualization techniques charged thought forms with emotional energy, then released them into the universal field. These practices transcended mere daydreaming. They functioned as precise mental transmissions, communicating directly with cosmic intelligence. Practical application begins with mental awareness. Observe how thoughts generate emotional states which crystallize into experiences. Notice scarcity-focused thinking creates more lack, while abundance-centered thoughts attract opportunities. This operates through vibrational resonance. Your mental state emits frequencies that attract similar energies. Visualization becomes your alchemical tool, creating desired outcomes with sensory richness and emotional intensity. Establishes energetic blueprints for reality to follow. Hermetic masters taught visualization works most effectively during alpha brain states, those twilight moments between wakefulness and sleep when conscious resistance relaxes and allows deeper programming. Affirmations serve as verbal anchors for these new mental patterns. Speak them with conviction, feeling their truth resonate through your body. Power emerges from emotional resonance rather than mechanical repetition. Words must vibrate authentically to communicate effectively with universal mind. Mindfulness practices clear mental static blocking, clear transmission. Through meditation, you distinguish between reactive thought patterns and conscious creation. This mental silence creates space where true power awakens. Cosmic connection happens when individual mind aligns with universal consciousness. This alignment transcends personal desire manifestation. It connects you to higher purpose within cosmic order. Hermetic masters viewed this connection as sacred communion with divine intelligence, where personal will merges with universal will. Historical texts describe how ancient alchemists practiced these mental disciplines during specific astronomical alignments. Understanding cosmic cycles amplify mental transmissions. They worked with planetary hours, lunar phases, and solar movements to enhance their practices. Modern practitioners find similar power synchronizing mental work with natural rhythms. The principle of mentalism reveals your birthright as a conscious creator. Your mind bridges invisible potential and visible manifestation. Every thought carries creative power, whether directed consciously or unconsciously. The Hermetic path teaches conscious direction of this power, transforming you from passive recipient to active participant in reality's unfolding. This awakening begins with recognizing thoughts create experience. From this awareness springs a new relationship with reality, accepting responsibility for your creative power. The universe responds to mental states with mathematical precision, reflecting exactly what you project outward. The second Hermetic Code reveals the principle of correspondence, captured in the axiom, as above, so below, as within, so without. This principle illuminates the perfect symmetry between cosmic patterns and personal experience. The macrocosm reflects in the microcosm. Universal laws manifest across all scales of existence. This correspondence creates an intricate web connecting everything in creation. The spiral pattern appears in galaxies, hurricanes, seashells, and DNA. The golden ratio governs both flower petals and human facial proportions. These patterns reveal a unified intelligence expressing itself through infinite variations. Hermetic alchemists recognize these correspondences as gateways to higher knowledge. They observed planetary movements mirroring human psychological cycles. Saturn's orbit corresponded with periods of restriction and discipline. Jupiter's movements aligned with expansion and opportunity. These weren't superstitious associations. They reflected genuine energetic relationships between celestial bodies and human experience. The alchemical symbol of the Ouroboros, the serpent devouring its tail, perfectly captures this principle. It represents cycles within cycles, endings becoming beginnings, the eternal return. This symbol appeared across ancient cultures, from Egyptian tombs to Norse mythology, signifying the universal recognition of cosmic correspondence. The Tree of Life, another powerful alchemical symbol, maps correspondences between divine realms and human experience. Its branches connect heaven and earth, spirit and matter, showing how energies flow between dimensions. Each sphere represents a different quality of consciousness, demonstrating how spiritual forces manifest through human awareness. Practical application of correspondence transforms daily life. Begin recognizing synchronicities, meaningful coincidences revealing alignment with universal flow. When you notice repeating numbers, animal messengers, or perfectly timed encounters, you glimpse correspondence in action. These signs indicate moments when inner reality harmonizes with outer experience. Correspondence works through vibrational matching. Your internal state creates resonance with external circumstances. Anger attracts angry situations. Peace draws peaceful experiences. This happens automatically until you become conscious of the process. Then you gain the power to intentionally align your inner state with desired outcomes. The Hermetic Masters used correspondence for healing. They understood bodily systems reflect cosmic systems. The heart corresponds with the sun. Both circulate life force. The brain corresponds with the moon. Both regulate cycles. By working with these connections, they restored balance when illness appeared. Modern energy medicine rediscovers these principles through practices like acupuncture, which maps bodily meridians to universal energy flows. Correspondence reveals why personal transformation affects your environment. When you heal internal wounds, relationships mysteriously improve. When you resolve inner conflicts, external obstacles dissolve. The outer world responds to inner shifts because separation exists only in perception, never in reality. This principle transforms manifestation practices. Rather than struggling to change external circumstances, focus on embodying the internal state corresponding to your desire. Want abundance? Cultivate inner fullness. Seek love? Become loving presence. Desire peace? Create inner harmony. The external must follow the internal. Cosmic law guarantees this correspondence. Alchemical texts describe this process as solving et coagula. Dissolve and recombine. First, dissolve limiting internal patterns, then recombine elements in higher alignment. External reality reconfigures accordingly through correspondence. This explains why forcing external changes without internal shifts creates temporary results at best. Correspondence also explains why intuition works. Your body serves as a receiving instrument for universal intelligence. Gut feelings, sudden insights, and inexplicable knowing arise when your system detects cosmic patterns beyond rational awareness. These intuitive flashes represent correspondence between universal wisdom and personal consciousness. The third Hermetic Code unveils the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. This principle reveals reality's dynamic nature. What appears solid merely vibrates at slower frequencies. What seems separate actually connects through vibrational fields. Quantum physics confirms what Hermetic masters taught millennia ago. Matter consists primarily of empty space with vibrating energy points. The apparent solidity of physical objects comes from vibrational patterns, not actual density. Your body appears solid, yet consists mostly of vibrating particles with vast spaces between them. This understanding transforms spiritual practice into vibrational science. Each emotion generates distinct frequency patterns. Love creates coherent, harmonious waves. Fear produces chaotic, discordant patterns. These emotional frequencies affect physical systems, explaining why sustained negative emotions correlate with illness, while positive states promote healing. The alchemists viewed matter as frozen light, energy vibrating slowly enough to appear solid. They understood transmutation happens by changing vibrational states. Lead becomes gold through vibrational elevation, both metaphorically and energetically. This process applies to consciousness transformation. Raising your vibration means increasing your energy frequency through refined thoughts, emotions, and actions. Practical applications of the vibration principle create powerful transformation. Sound healing represents one direct application. Ancient traditions use specific tones, mantras, and chants to alter consciousness and heal physical conditions. Modern research confirms the sound waves affect cellular structure and brain function. Certain frequencies promote healing, others enhance meditation, while some synchronize brain hemispheres. Breathwork offers another vibrational tool. Different breathing patterns create different energetic states. Slow, deep breathing calms the nervous system and lowers vibrational density. Rapid, rhythmic breathing raises energy frequency and can induce expanded awareness. The Hermetic masters viewed breath as the bridge between visible and invisible realms, a tool for consciously modifying vibration. Energy-clearing rituals help remove lower vibrational influences. Practices like smudging with sage, sound cleansing with bells or singing bowls, and salt baths all work through vibrational principles. These techniques disrupt stagnant energy patterns and restore natural frequency. The vibration principle explains why environments affect consciousness. Spaces hold vibrational imprints from events and emotions experienced there. You feel this when entering rooms where conflict occurred or places of spiritual practice. The Hermetic masters carefully created sacred spaces with high vibrational elements, specific crystals, geometric proportions, and purified materials to support consciousness elevation. Emotional mastery becomes essential for vibrational work. Higher emotions like gratitude, compassion, and unconditional love generate the most coherent and elevated frequencies. Cultivating these states raises your entire energy field, attracting corresponding experiences and insights. The alchemists considered emotional transmutation the foundation of spiritual development, transforming fear into courage, anger into strength, grief into compassion. The Hermetic understanding of vibration extends to thought forms. Every thought generates specific frequencies that attract similar patterns. Persistent thoughts create stronger vibrational signatures. This explains why breaking negative thought cycles proves challenging. They've established resonant fields that self-perpetuate. Changing thought patterns requires conscious introduction of higher vibrational alternatives until new resonance establishes. Vibrational alignment with higher frequencies connects you to expanded guidance. Intuition, inspiration, and spiritual insight become accessible when your system vibrates at rates compatible with these subtle energies. The Hermetic path includes practices specifically designed to refine perception through vibrational elevation. The fourth Hermetic code reveals the great work, the alchemical process of self-transformation. This code teaches that human consciousness contains both base elements and divine potential. The great work transmutes lower aspects into higher expression, symbolized by turning lead into gold. Alchemical texts describe this process through symbolic stages. The Negrito, blackening, represents encountering your shadow, the repressed, denied aspects of self. This stage brings discomfort as hidden patterns surface. The Hermetic masters taught that transformation begins with willingness to face inner darkness. Modern psychology echoes this understanding through shadow work, confronting unconscious material to integrate it consciously. The albedo, whitening, follows, representing purification. After acknowledging shadow elements, you begin cleansing distorted perceptions and emotional wounds. This stage brings clarity and emotional release. Meditation, forgiveness practices, and truth-telling serve as purification tools. The alchemists use distillation metaphors to describe this process, separating essential truth from accumulated distortion. The citrinitas, yellowing, marks spiritual awakening. Having cleared major blockages, higher awareness begins flowing through your system. This stage brings insights, synchronicities, and enhanced perception. Creative expression often flourishes here, as divine inspiration finds clearer channels. The alchemists associated this stage with the sun, inner light becoming visible. The rubedo, reddening, completes the cycle through integration. Higher awareness embodies in practical life. Spiritual insights translate into transformed relationships, work, and physical expression. This stage brings wholeness, heaven and earth united within human consciousness. The alchemists symbolized this completion with the philosopher's stone, the perfected self achieved through conscious evolution. The great work happens through specific practices. Self-observation comes first, witnessing thoughts, emotions, and reactions without judgment. This witnessing creates space between awareness and conditioned patterns, allowing transformation to begin. The Hermetic masters developed mindfulness millennia before its modern popularity. Shadow work follows, exploring rejected aspects of self. Journaling about triggers, dreams, and projections reveals these hidden elements. The alchemists taught that what remains unconscious controls you, while what becomes conscious can transform. They used symbolic dream interpretation and meditation on polarities to illuminate shadow material. Purification practices clear emotional residue from past experiences. Forgiveness rituals, emotional release techniques, and energy clearing methods help dissolve old patterns. The Hermetic tradition includes specific visualizations where divine light dissolves emotional blockages, restoring natural flow. Integration happens through embodiment practices. Meditation alone cannot complete the great work. Insights must translate into changed behavior. Daily actions aligned with higher awareness gradually transform your entire being. The alchemists emphasized practical application of spiritual principles through service, creative expression, and conscious relationship. The philosopher's stone represents the ultimate achievement, consciousness that transforms everything it touches. When you complete significant aspects of the great work, your presence naturally elevates others. Your words carry transformative power. Your actions create ripples of positive change. This happens through vibrational influence rather than proselytizing or teaching. The great work never truly ends. It deepens through successive cycles of transformation. Each completion reveals new levels awaiting integration. The Hermetic path views evolution as spiral rather than linear, revisiting themes with expanded awareness each cycle. The fifth Hermetic Code illuminates the principle of polarity. Everything has poles, everything has pairs of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, differing only in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are half-truths. All paradoxes can be reconciled. Lapot. This principle reveals the illusory nature of apparent opposites. Light and darkness represent different degrees of the same energy. Love and fear exist on a single spectrum. Masculine and feminine qualities complement rather than oppose each other. Understanding polarity dissolves binary thinking that creates internal conflict and external division. Hermetic masters viewed polarities as creative tension rather than opposition. The interplay between complementary forces generates movement, growth, and evolution. Without this dynamic exchange, stagnation occurs. The symbol of yin-yang perfectly captures this understanding, each force containing the seed of its complement, together creating wholeness. Practical application begins with identifying polarized thinking in yourself. Notice where you create rigid categories: good, bad, spiritual, material, success, failure. These mental divisions create internal conflict and limit perception. The alchemical approach transcends either-or thinking, embracing both and awareness that includes apparent opposites within larger wholeness. Emotional healing happens through polarity integration. Fear transforms when you find the courage within it. Anger contains passion, awaiting redirection. Grief carries the depth of love. By exploring the positive potential within challenging emotions, you transmute rather than suppress them. The Hermetic masters taught emotional alchemy as the art of finding hidden gifts within difficult feelings. Balancing masculine and feminine energies creates internal harmony. Masculine qualities include direction, focus, and structure. Feminine qualities include receptivity, intuition, and flow. Everyone contains both energies regardless of biological sex. Imbalance creates problems. Excess masculine energy becomes rigid and controlling. Excess feminine energy becomes unfocused and boundaryless. The alchemical marriage represents perfect balance between these complementary forces. Meditation practices help integrate polarities. Visualize opposing qualities merging within your heart center. Breathe into contradictory feelings simultaneously. Write dialogues between conflicting aspects of yourself. These techniques dissolve artificial boundaries between seemingly opposite traits. Polarity understanding transforms relationships. Rather than seeking someone identical to you, appreciate complementary qualities in others. Differences become opportunities for growth rather than sources of conflict. The Hermetic view sees relationships as alchemical containers where polarities interact to create something greater than either individual alone. The sixth Hermetic Code reveals the principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is merely a name for law unrecognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. This principle illuminates the ordered nature of the universe. Nothing happens randomly. Every circumstance, encounter, and experience results from prior causes, some visible, others hidden. Understanding this causal chain empowers conscious creation rather than passive reaction. Hermetic masters recognized multiple levels of causation. Physical causes create physical effects. Actions produce tangible results. Mental causes generate corresponding effects. Thoughts attract matching experiences. Spiritual causes operate from higher dimensions. Soul intentions manifest as life circumstances. These causal planes interact continuously, creating the complex tapestry of human experience. Karma represents this principle in action, the understanding that energy returns to its source. The Hermetic view transcends simplistic reward, punishment interpretations. Instead, karma functions as a balancing mechanism, ensuring experiences necessary for soul evolution. Challenging circumstances often contain precisely the lessons needed for growth. Practical application begins with accepting responsibility for your reality. External blame blocks access to causal understanding. When you recognize yourself as the primary cause of your experience, you gain power to change it. This doesn't mean blaming yourself for difficulties, but rather acknowledging your response determines their impact and duration. Conscious causation means acting from love rather than fear, truth rather than convenience, wisdom rather than impulse. The quality of your causal energy determines the quality of effects manifesting in your life. Hermetic masters carefully purified their intentions, knowing these subtle beginnings would magnify through manifestation. Karmic clearing happens through forgiveness, restitution, and pattern breaking. Forgiveness releases emotional charges that perpetuate negative cycles. Restitution balances energy where harm occurred. Pattern breaking interrupts unconscious behaviors that generate unwanted effects. These practices allow fresh causal seeds to take root. Understanding time delays in causation develops patience. Some effects manifest immediately, others take years or lifetimes. The Hermetic perspective views time as a dimension rather than an absolute. Causes and effects connect energetically regardless of apparent temporal distance. This explains delayed manifestations, generational patterns, and seemingly unearned circumstances. The seventh Hermetic Code unveils the principle of rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. This principle reveals the cyclical nature of all existence. Energy never moves in straight lines. It pulses, cycles, spirals. Understanding these natural rhythms allows you to work with cosmic currents rather than against them. The Hermetic masters timed their work with these cycles, enhancing effectiveness through alignment. Practical application begins with observing natural rhythms in your life. Notice energy peaks and valleys throughout days, months, and years. Track emotional cycles, creative phases, and relationship patterns. These observations reveal your personal rhythmic signature. Working with these natural cycles conserves energy and improves results. Moon phases offer accessible rhythm for spiritual practice. New moons support beginning projects and setting intentions. Full moons amplify emotional energy and bring completion. Waning phases favor release work and introspection. Waxing phases build energy for manifestation. Aligning activities with these lunar rhythms enhances their effectiveness. Seasonal cycles provide another rhythmic framework. Spring energies support initiation and growth. Summer brings fullness and abundance. Autumn facilitates harvest and evaluation. Winter encourages rest and gestation. These energetic qualities exist regardless of geographical location. Hermetic masters planned major works according to seasonal energies. Personal rhythms deserve equal attention. Some people naturally align with morning energy, others peak at night. Creative inspiration comes in waves rather than constant flow. Respecting these individual patterns prevents burnout and maximizes productive periods. The Hermetic path emphasizes working with your nature rather than forcing unnatural consistency. Rhythm understanding transforms spiritual practice. Periods of intense insight naturally alternate with integration phases. Mystical connection flows into practical application. Expansion balances with contraction. Recognizing these rhythms prevents discouragement during quieter phases. They represent necessary balance rather than regression. The principle of rhythm explains why forcing outcomes creates resistance. Trying to maintain constant high energy, perpetual happiness, or continuous growth violates natural law. The Hermetic approach works with rhythmic flow, advancing when energy supports, consolidating during rest phases, releasing during decline periods. This rhythmic awareness creates sustainable transformation. These 7 Hermetic codes form an integrated system for awakening cosmic power. Each principle reinforces the others, creating a complete framework for consciousness transformation. The mentalism principle reveals your creative power. Correspondence connects you with universal patterns. Vibration provides the mechanism for change. The great work offers a developmental map. Polarity integration creates wholeness. Cause and effect ensures manifestation. Rhythm guides timing and sustainability. Applying these codes awakens dormant abilities within you. Enhanced intuition emerges as you align with correspondence. Manifestation power strengthens through conscious causation. Emotional mastery develops through polarity integration. Energy sensitivity increases with vibrational refinement. Timing improves through rhythmic awareness. Self-knowledge deepens through the great work. Mental clarity sharpens through mentalism practice. The Hermetic path offers transformation beyond intellectual understanding. These principles must be lived, tested, and embodied. Each code invites practical application in daily life. Begin with simple practices. Observe your thoughts, notice correspondences, feel subtle vibrations, work with one polarity, track causes and effects, align with natural rhythms, and take one step in your great work. Start with the principle that resonates most strongly. Perhaps mentalism calls you to examine thought patterns. Maybe vibration draws you toward energy practices. Correspondence might awaken your interest in synchronicities. Follow this natural attraction. It indicates where your development currently focuses. The Hermetic journey unfolds uniquely for each person. Some experience dramatic awakenings. Others notice subtle shifts accumulating over time. Both paths lead to the same destination: conscious participation in cosmic creation. Trust your process without comparing it to others. Remember that Hermetic alchemy transforms your entire being: body, emotions, mind, and spirit. Physical practices like conscious breathing, movement, and nutrition support higher vibration. Emotional work creates space for expanded awareness. Mental discipline focuses creative power. Spiritual connection provides guidance and purpose. Integrate practices across all dimensions for balanced development. The principle of mentalism teaches that the universe exists as mental creation. Your thoughts generate reality through resonance with universal mind. Practice mental awareness by observing thought patterns without judgment. Notice how different thoughts create different emotional states and attract corresponding experiences. Develop discipline through visualization, affirmations, and mindfulness. Connect with universal mind through meditation and receptive awareness. The principle of correspondence reveals perfect symmetry between cosmic patterns and personal experience. Practice recognizing these connections by noticing synchronicities, symbolic messages, and meaningful coincidences. Study natural patterns like sacred geometry, golden ratio, and fractal structures. Observe how internal shifts create external changes through vibrational matching. Align your inner state with desired outcomes rather than forcing external circumstances. The principle of vibration shows that everything exists as energy in motion. Practice vibrational awareness by sensing subtle energies in environments, objects, and people. Raise your frequency through sound healing, breath work, and emotional elevation. Clear lower vibrations using energy practices like smudging, salt baths, or crystal work. Create high vibrational environments that support consciousness expansion. Cultivate emotions like gratitude, joy, and compassion that generate coherent energy fields. The great work provides a map for consciousness transformation. Practice self-observation without judgment. Witnessing thoughts and emotions as they arise. Explore shadow aspects through journaling, dream work, and trigger examination. Purify emotional residue through forgiveness, release techniques, and energy clearing. Integrate insights through embodied action, creative expression, and service to others. The principle of polarity reveals the complementary nature of apparent opposites. Practice transcending binary thinking by finding the positive potential within challenges. Balance masculine and feminine energies through appropriate expression of both qualities. Integrate emotional polarities by discovering the gift within difficult feelings. Harmonize opposing aspects of yourself through inner dialogue and heart-centered meditation. The principle of cause and effect demonstrates how energy returns to its source. Practice conscious causation by acting from love rather than fear, truth rather than convenience. Accept responsibility for your reality without blame or shame. Clear karmic patterns through forgiveness, restitution, and behavior change. Align your causal energy with your highest intentions, knowing these seeds will multiply through manifestation. The principle of rhythm illuminates the cyclical nature of all existence. Practice rhythmic awareness by tracking energy patterns in your life, daily, monthly, seasonal, and annual cycles. Align activities with supportive rhythms rather than forcing constant output. Work with moon phases, seasonal energies, and personal biorhythms. Respect natural ebbs and flows in spiritual development, creativity, and manifestation. These Hermetic codes awaken cosmic power through alignment with universal law. This power manifests as enhanced intuition, accelerated manifestation, emotional sovereignty, energetic sensitivity, precise timing, deepened self-knowledge, and mental clarity. These abilities emerge naturally through consistent practice, rather than forced development. The Hermetic path leads ultimately to conscious co-creation with universal intelligence. Your individual will align with cosmic purpose. Your actions serve evolution rather than ego. Your presence transforms environments without effort. Your words carry vibrational truth that awakens others. Your life becomes an alchemical vessel where lead continuously transmutes into gold, where limitation transforms into possibility, where separation dissolves into unity. The time for this awakening has arrived. Ancient wisdom merges with quantum understanding, creating unprecedented opportunity for conscious evolution. These Hermetic codes speak directly to your soul, activating dormant memory of your divine nature. Each principle you apply creates ripples through the cosmic field, affecting not just your life but collective consciousness. Begin now. Choose one principle. Apply it consistently. Watch for subtle shifts. Trust the process. The universe responds to genuine seeking with perfect precision. The Hermetic codes await your engagement, ready to transform lead into gold, limitation into freedom, separation into unity. Your cosmic power awakens through conscious participation in universal law. The journey of 1,000 transformations begins with a single step into Hermetic wisdom.